I, Mr. S.R. Prasad, Research Scholar, Department of Business Management, Mahatma Gandhi University. Welcome back to all for post session of Day 2 Faculty Development Program on Organizational Behavior. Now, today's post session is delivered on topic Dynamics of Perception by Dr. Miryala Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh Kumar Miryala is one of the senior faculty members in the Department of Management Studies of Mahatma Gandhi University. Presently, he is serving the university in the capacity of controller of examinations, and prior to this, he served the university in the capacity of director, college development council, and directorate of admissions. Earlier, he has also rendered his service in the capacity of principal for University College of Commerce and Business Management of Mahatma Gandhi University. He also worked in the capacities of vice principal, UCCBM, vice principal for boys hostel, and warden in the university. Prior to this, he worked for Swami Ramananda Tirtha Institute of Science and Technology for more than a decade in different capacities like head and professor in the Department of Management, and also as a training and placement officer. He also worked as a principal for Ronaldas PG College, Ibrahimpatnam, Marar district. His academic qualifications includes PhD from Business Management from Usmania University and MBA and MSc Psychology from Kakatiya University. His area of specialization are human resource management, marketing management, organizational behavior, services marketing, consumer behavior, and strategic management. He has published 49 papers in national and international journals and presented 19 papers in national and international conferences. He also authored a book titled Brand Equity Strategies and edited 5 books titled Changing Paradigms of Rural Management, Global Business Strategies, Touching New Horizons, Trends, Challenges, and Innovations in Management, Responsible Tourism, Human Accountability for Sustainable Business, and Responsible Tourism Marketing for Sustainable Business. He was a PhD supervisor. Presently, is under him, 4 doctoral students are working under his guidance. He has expertise in software like SPSS 21 and AMOS 17 for statistical analysis. He has got membership in various professional bodies like Life Member of All India Management Association, Member of International Academy of Business and Economy, and Member of Hyderabad Management Association, Hyderabad. He has membership in various editorial boards like IABE, that is International Academy of Business and Economics, Elsevier Editorial System, European Academic Research, Journal of Marine Tourism, Asian Academy of Management Journal, Independent Journal of Management and Production, Zenith International Research and Academic Foundation India, Indian Streams Research Journal, Indian Journal of Applied Research, and member of editorial board. Like this, he has got eminent personality and he has got having eminent posts in different capacities. It's honor and pleasure for me to introduce Priyal Ramesh Garu for the today's session. Sir, welcome to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Prasad. Thank you so much. At the outset, let me thank Dr. Ravi Alwala for having given me an opportunity to meet you all virtually and to share a little bit of knowledge, whatever I have on the concept of perception. I think it is audible. Am I audible, friends?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. So let us give opportunity for everyone to put up their voice. Let us hear to them too.
Yes.
Yes. Let me share the screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Perception is very important concepts of organizational behavior, and behavioral science is very, very important not only in the perspective of management program, But as a general human being, as an individual who live in a society, we need to understand various concepts of behavioral sciences. Among them, two important things are very, very essential. One is perception, the other one is personality. These two, understanding perception, understanding personality, will improve the quality of our life. Most of our relations, most of our understanding about the society purely depends upon the personality and the perception. So these particular things, perception and personality, need to be understood by every individual, every individual. And I've gone through the profiles of the participants. You are from diversified groups. Some of them are from engineering background, some of them are from sciences, some of them are from arts, some of them definitely are from management and commerce. For management and commerce faculty, understanding perception is not a new thing, but wherein for engineering graduates and science graduates and arts and humanities people, for few of them it may be new, for few of them it may be already studied one in case they have undergone a B.Ed program. Otherwise, this will be a new course for them. Let us try to understand this perception. To understand the perception here, let us take a opening case, a management program in management streams. One of the important pedagogies is case study. So let us use a case to understand the concepts of perception. Let us see three cases. So one is on employee promotion, the other one is on space utilization, other one is on an accident with different viewpoints. Right? Let us see these three cases, then we go into the concept of perception, then we try to understand what is perception, then we will come to the point of giving a solution for these three cases. That is what we try to do in this 1.5 hour of session. So first we'll try to read these cases. First one, employee promotion, then space utilization case, then same accident with different viewpoints. Then after going to the cases, we will go through the concepts of perception. Then we will arrive at finding a solution for these three cases. Later, we will try to understand how understanding of perception will help us to solve our majority problems which we encounter in our day-to-day life. Now, why I'm very specific about these cases is perception is not a reality. Perception is what we understand about a reality. I repeat, perception is not a reality, but perception is what we understand about a reality. So there is a difference, there is a conceptually, there is a difference in the meaning of reality and understanding the reality. So I repeat once again, personality, perception is not the reality, but it is our understanding about the reality. No, I mean there, rather I should use the word stimuli, but I'm using the word reality to make you simplify. Right? So there is a meaning here. The meaning is understanding a situation is what a perception is. So understanding a situation varies from one individual to other individual. So why it varies? Because understanding level of an individual depends upon his personality, his characteristics, his learning, his other various aspects towards the environment and environmental factors. So all these things are implied and it will be acting on your perception. So to understand all these things, so we will start up with a simple case. This case is about an employee promotion. I request all the participants to just go by go through the case, whatever is being shared on the slide. It is about a 3-year-old employee of a company. The employee is known for hardworking, disciplined, and also for her contribution in the company. So all positive characteristics of the employee are there. And she is expecting a promotion very soon. But for her surprise, her boss has given promotion to another individual whom she treats less calibered person over her. Now, this individual who is known for hard working and disciplined and who is also an idea contributor to the company now starts a perception feeling that her boss being discriminative her based on sexism by letting another person to get promoted. And this has resulted the individual to change her behavior from positive to negative attitude towards the organization and also towards her boss and also towards the other co-employee. Now let us try to understand why this situation has arrived, how far this is correct, and what are the reasons for her perception. And these kind of problems are quite common in a business or in a business organization. Why business organization? In any organization, it is a very common thing that we always see among ourselves. Now, in all such situations, how to address the issues is a major point here. Now, at this juncture, I don't want to ask you anything who was right, who was wrong, and how to address the situation. But we will keep this case aside. Then we will go into the concept. Then we will last arrive at the same case, then try to find solution for this case. So now case one is about employee promotion, right? So our outline is this employee about whom we are referring is very hardworking, very disciplined, an idea contributor, and that person was kept aside and another individual whom the person about whom we are talking feels is a low caliber person was promoted. Now, as a result, the employee, the first employee started feeling discriminated and also has built a negative attitude, developed a negative attitude towards the organization. Right? This is about the first case. Next case. This is also very common thing which we see in organizations. An issue about space utilization. Now, this is about a company which manufactures a manufacturing company. So, as you know, manufacturing companies have two things. What is that? They will have office. They will have office. They will also have a warehouse where there will be operations. Now, looking to the case, this case, please go to the case along with me. There is a gentleman called Krishnamurthy, who is the plant manager, whom the company has appointed as a chairperson for a ad hoc committee for space utilization. So this committee has members drawn from different departments. The general manager of the company has given Murthy, the Krishnamurthy, the responsibility for seeing whether the various office, operations, and warehouse facilities of the company are being optimally utilized. So why they have given? Before they want to acquire a new space, they want Mr. Krishnamurthy to check and verify whether every inch space of the present existing space is being properly utilized or not. If still they find that there is a need for new space, the responsibility can be given to Murthy and he will decide and then they can acquire new space. That was the intention for which the committee was drawn. So for the first time, what he has done, the Murthy want to find the solution. So what he has done, he has called for a meeting. So people from office manager has come. A person from production manager has come. They came and sit across the table. The office manager was complaining about underutilization of production space by production manager. And immediately production manager started complaining about luxuries that are given for office people. Right? The first meeting immediately resulted into chaos because office manager was not happy with the kind of space given to production manager. Production manager was not happy with the kind of facilities that are given to office people. So obviously they will be coerced. So immediately, in order to solve it, what Murthy has done is, am I audible, Mr.
Yes,
Cherwal?
yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Please, sir.
Yes, please. Yes, please. So what Mr. Murthy has done is immediately, in order to start the fight, so immediately stopped the people discussing, debating, and then he has called for objective facts about the workplace from the industrial manager, right? So that he can find some solution for the problem. So here also there are perceptions. There is a perception being developed by production manager. There is a perception being developed by office manager. So these kind of diversified perceptions will exist. It's a common thing once again in the organizations, and we need to understand such things exist, and we should know how to address such kind of problems in organizations. Right. So this is the second case which I would like to refer. Right. Utilization of space. So most of us, we are faculty, and we faculty also have such kind of difference of opinion among our own colleagues where we were. So we say so and so ex teacher was given more space, more workspace, more laboratory space, and I am not given. Someone who was given also says that I am being given only because I have the utilization. These kind of perceptual differences will be there. And we will try to look into those aspects once we understand the concept of perception. This is the second case about which I would like to refer. Third thing, this is about an accident. This is about an accident, right? An accident has happened, right? And it was reported. It was reported by three people. Police has reported the case, and the transport department of the transport agency has reported the case. The individual driver who has done the accident also reported the case. There are three reports on the case, and three reports are varying. There is lots of difference between these three reports. If you just go by this case, you just go by the case, it reads like this. Right? According to the police report on July 9, at 1:27 p.m., a bus number of so and so has involved in a minor non-injury accident. Upon arriving to the scene of the accident, police were unable to locate the driver of the bus. Because the bus was barely drivable, the passenger were transferred to a backup bus, and the damaged bus was returned to the city bus garage for repair. This was the report given by the police. Now, the manager, a newly hired general manager, right, an ex, received two more additional reports apart from this police report. One is from Ms. Jennifer, who happens to be transportation director, and one is from Michael, who happens to be the driver who did the accident. Right? So this is the version about the case. Let us go by one more aspect here. Jennifer, who happens to be the director of the transport, says that the driver is above average driver for almost 8 years. above average driver for almost 8 years. And his performance has taken a drastic nose drive during the last 15 months, right? So about quarter month above than the year. And always want to join the other drivers. Mr. Driver will be going for a drink. That is also an aspect covered by the transport director in her report. So she means that so driver is one who consumes drink, right? He is suspected of drinking on the job too. That is also mentioned in the report. Furthermore, Jennifer says on the day when the accident has happened at about 3 p.m., the driver was found taking or consuming alcohol at the nearest vendor place. Right? Apart from that, she also mentioned 1-2 sections of her act, a transportation act, which is followed by the organization, and based upon that, she recommends immediate dismissal of the employee. This is the employee should be removed, terminated immediately. That is what Jennifer says. And according to Michael says that in order to save a person who is cycling a bicycle rider, in order to save the life of a bicycle rider, he hit the bus to a tree, which has caused a minor damage. In the process, the phone which is being used by driver also got damaged. So the driver has tried his level best to reach the company, the transport agency, and advise the organization management to look into the help that is needed to help the passengers. And he tried by walking few miles and he could not succeed. Then when he returned back, he did not find the bus. Then he walked another 5 miles more. By the time he reached his organization, it was 3 p.m. Since already his day work schedule is shift is completed, he went for a quick bath. That is what the version of the driver. So driver has a version, the transport manager director has another version, and the police has given a brief report about the incident that has happened. Now, in case you are a manager who has to decide what will be your decision, whether you would like to recommend the decision advocated by the transport manager, or you would like to have your own viewpoints. Here also, there are perceptions. Police has their own perception. The transport director has her own perception. The driver has his own perception about the incident that has happened. Now, we need to understand what perception, what understanding, what decision the general manager need to have before he takes a decision. These are all common things that happen in any organizations. So one common factor which we need to discuss here is there are behavioral aspects, there are perceptual differences, there will be perceptions, and understanding perceptions is very, very important. So this is what we will try to address. So I repeat here. So these are the 3 cases which I would like to focus. One is employee promotion, which I just presented. The next one is space utilization one. Third one is about an accident with different viewpoints. right? Now let us go into the concept of perception. I quote a very common, popular mathematical function. B is equal to function of P and E, which was given by Levin in 1939. What is B? B is behavior, and P is the personal characteristics, right? And E is the environment. So behavior of any individual depends upon the personal characteristics and his or her subjective experiences with the environment. You need to clearly understand the word here, subjective experiences. It is purely subjective experiences. What my experience need not to be your experience, and what is your experience need not to be my experiences. In some cases, I may have better experience than you. In some cases, you may have better experience than me. It all depends upon it is a subjective matter. It is not an objective matter. It is a subjective matter. Right? Subjective experiences will decide your behavior in a situation. Right? Above that, our personal characteristics. How does the personal characteristics are framed or formulated? Once again, here things like personality, things like your learning, things like your attitude, your values, your perception, your attribution will magnify or demagnify your behavior in a situation in a positive way or in a negative way. So remember always here, your behavior is always magnified or demagnified by the characteristics you possess. So the characteristics you possess will define, will have a major impact, right, in multiple folds on your behavior, right? And your behavior on a situation always impacts by your experiences about the environment. Your experiences about the environment. Your experiences about the environment will influence. Sorry. So your experience about the environment will have a positive attitude towards the environment, or it will have a negative attitude towards the environment. So always you should remember, behavior of any individual is not his innate character, but his responsive action towards the environment because of his personal characteristics. Because of his personal characteristics, it is a responsive action towards the environment. So behavior always depends upon these two things. So rightly said way long back in 1913 by 39 by Levin, it still holds good. B is equal to function of P and E. Right. Now, in those two things like personal characteristics, one of the important contributor is perception. One of the important contributors is perception. Now let us see what is perception is. Perception, perception is based up. People's behavior is based upon their perception of what reality is and not on reality itself. Right? This is something like repetition of what is my opening statement. Right? So it is not the reality, but your understanding about the reality. Right? So your behavior is always depends upon the perception of what reality is. Indeed, not the reality itself. Right? How you understand the situation will bring in a behavior in you toward the situation. So what is your understanding towards situation will tell you what will be your behavior toward the situation. That is how or what a perception is. Now, before we further understand perception, let us see a clear definition of perception. So, perception, if you try to understand the technical way of defining perception, we say perception is a process, right? Most of our management mechanisms, we understand them or teach them as a process, right? Management is a process. Even these days, training is a process. Leadership is a process. Personality also, it can be shaped. So it also has become process. And even perception is a process, right? So management is a process, leadership is a process, and personality can also be trained. It can be modified. So it is also has become process. Leadership is a process. Perception is a process. Everything is a process. Now, if you understand the perception, perception is a process by which individuals organize and interpret their sensory impressions in order to give meaning to the environment. So sensory impressions, right? What is impression? Right? Whatever sensory input is there, right? Sensory is input nothing but a stimuli to the sensory organs, a stimuli to a sensory organs, and we are trying to have our understanding and interpretation of those stimuli in order to give a meaning to the environment. And the process of doing that is called perception. Let me also tell you, perception is an intellectual process. Perception is an intellectual process of transforming sensory stimuli to a meaningful information. What it is, how it is. The moment you walk into a house, right, your own house, your mom or spouse or someone is cooking your favorite food, you sense it, right? Immediately there will be gratification, right? Immediately you will sense your favorite food is being cooked, right? Right? You try to give a meaningful information about the sensory stimuli. The moment you walk in somewhere, right, you will understand there's a pleasantness in the reception, right? Or you will also understand there's a rejection of you, right? It was not said, but you are trying to understand by the sensory stimuli, right? Looking at the people, the way they are showing the attentiveness to receive you will tell you whether you are being accepted or whether you are being rejected. Right? You are trying to give a meaning to it, right? Every sensory stimuli, you will try to understand and you will try to give meaning to it. That happens here. That happens everywhere indeed, right? And the process behind which we call it as a perception. So perception is the intellectual process of transforming sensory stimuli to a meaningful information, right? So here, before we see once again, there is a word called sensation. There is a word called perception. There is a difference between sensation and perception. Before we see those two things, let us understand. Is it very important to understand perception? According to me, relations, everything depends upon how people perceive. Not only relations, everything, our attitude, our attribution, everything depends upon how we perceive, because it is going to impact the organization efficiency also, right? Not only relations are affected, but also efficiency of the organizations will get impacted by perceptions. So it is very important for us to understand why people understand in a way they are understanding. We need to understand why people are understanding in a way they are understanding. So if we find fault in a way they are understanding, we need to be in a position to address that issue also. So that requires us to understand the process of perception of others. so that we can better understand and resolve the issues involved. Right? For that reason, we need to understand perception. Right? Now, let us see the difference between sensation and perception. Sensation and perception are two different mechanisms. Sensation is a simple mechanism of receiving raw sensory data. Raw sensory data. How does this raw sensory data happens? No, you all know you have 5 sensory organs. You have 5 sensory organs. You recept through these sensory organs. You recept through these sensory organs. You receive the stimuli through these sensory organs. You will understand certain things. You will understand, right? You are seeing something. You understand it's a paper. It was written something. Something was written there. Yes, it is not a black and white paper, but something was. It was not a white paper, but it was a black and paper. It was something was written there. Right? You are seeing to it. You are watching through the window. You are seeing to some stimuli. You are recepting some stimuli. Right? So receiving a stimuli and doing an elementary physiological process is called sensation. Right? Sensation simply is becoming aware of the stimuli. Becoming aware of the stimuli. Right? And now coming to the perception. Perception is a bigger word than sensation. Bigger word than sensation. In sensation, we just receive sensory data, raw sensory data. But in perception, we select, organize, and interpret raw sensory data. What is that? We will select the sensory data. What is selecting sensory data is? We will discuss it in next 1 or 2 slides, because here selecting is one of the important process that happens in perception. Because when we look into the perception, we will not recept the total stimuli. We will not recept the total stimuli, but we will select part of the stimuli. We will select the part of the stimuli, and based upon that, we will take an action. What is part of selection? We will see in due course of time, but as of now, we do selection. Then whatever we select, that we try to organize. Then whatever we have organized, we try to interpret. So what is happening here? So we are receiving a sensory data is sensation. Receiving sensory data is sensation, but whatever has been received among that, when you select, organize, and interpret, then it becomes perception. And now, one more major difference between sensation and perception is we will be sensation is here physiological process, but perception is more than that. It includes with psychological process. So there will be a meaning, there will be an understanding, there will be an interpretation, there will be many things happening within the stimuli, within that receptor stimuli, right? So there, apart from physiological process, there is a psychological process that goes behind it. And that one is a bigger thing we need to understand, and that happens in perception. Right? So now, one more, like as I already said, now the sensation, what happens? We just get aware with the stimuli. Now, what is happening with this perception? In perception, we are going to give meaning to the stimuli. We are going to give our own meaning. It is not the true meaning. We are going to give our own meaning to the stimuli. And that meaning, whatever I give and whatever you give will not be the same. I give my meaning because of my distinct knowledge of the stimuli, and you will give your own meaning because of your distinct knowledge of the stimuli. So my experiences will have an impact on my meaning, and your experiences, your learning will have an impact on your meaning to the stimuli. It all depends upon the knowledge levels of the individuals, the experience levels, the learning levels of the individual that give meaning. Right? When it comes to sensation, people may have the same sensation. Uh, People will have the sensation unless otherwise there is a sensory deficiency by the people. But perception, in spite of not having any sensory deficiency by the people, there will be differences in meanings given by the individuals. It happens because of changing or the varied knowledge levels of the individuals. So that is the reason why perception from one individual to other individual varies. Now, so perception, one more point here when it comes to difference between perception and sensation difference. Sensation starts with perception. Sensation starts the perception process. All right. So when the perception is happening, there should always be sensation done. After doing sensation, perception process starts. And in perception, there is sensation included, there is selection included, there is organizing included, there is interpretation included. All these things are included. Now, let us see the importances of perception. Perception is important because of its effect on behavior, because it affects the behavior. It's very important for us. Having a perceptual accuracy, having a perceptual accuracy will improvise the interpersonal relations, will help the organizations to understand behavior of the people at work. It helps the organizations to avoid conflicts. It helps the organizations to understand the perceptions of other organizations. So understanding how perception happens will improvise the perceptual accuracy, and increasing perceptual accuracy will better improvise the interpersonal relationship among the people and understanding the behavior of the people at work, and avoids conflict, and also helps in understanding perceptions of organizations, which is very, very important for the managers. Not only managers, it is also important for every individual, any individual who works at workplaces and who also live in the society, because behaviors are always impacted by perceptions, not only in offices, but also at homes also. At your homes also, perception plays a bigger role. Your understanding of your spouse or parents or your children will better understand, will better help you to understand them, and better understanding them will help in arriving at the quality of understanding that will result into a better relationship. Now, let us see the factors that influence perception. Three major factors are there. Three major factors are there, right? Which always gets impacted by. One is the object. Object means the object being perceived, the event being perceived, right? The second is the environment in which perception is occurring. Third thing is the individual being perceived, right? So who are the three people who will be impacting the perception? The first one is the individual doing the perception. If I am doing perception, so my characteristics are the first thing that will influence the quality of my perception. If you are the individual who is doing perception, your characteristics are the first thing that will impact the perception. Right? So what characteristics the individual have? The need, the experiences, the values, the attitudes, the personality of the individual will impact the characteristics. Right? If it is me, I am doing perception, my need, what is the need, my need in particular situation? What are my experiences? What are my values? What are my attitudes? What is my personality? And these are the prime things that will impact my perception. So quality of perception I do depends upon these things. Apart from that, object being perceived is the second major important thing that will impact the perception. Object that is being perceived. What is the nature of the object? What is the size of the object? What is the appearance of the object? So what was the location? What was the position of the object? Nature, when it comes to nature, or what, whether it's how big it is, how small it is, right? So what is its color, right? What is its appearance, right? All these things, right? These are the characteristics of the object being pursued. Characteristics of the object being pursued. The third thing is environment in which perception is happening. The physical setting of the environment, the social setting of the environment, social setting of the environment, and organizational setting of the. So these are the situational factors. So whatever perception I do depend upon my characteristics and the object what I am perceiving and in the environment in which I am perceiving. Right? So the quality of perception I do depends upon quality of my perception, quality of the objectives, and also the quality of the situation in which the perception is happening. So why this is also important is if I have to pursue the same object, in a different environment, I may be perceiving differently. Right? That is also a factor. That is also important thing. Right? So in X environment, I am perceiving differently. In Y environment, I may be perceiving differently. In Z environment, I may be perceiving totally differently. Let me tell you an example. Right? I am alone doing something. My behavior is different. I am in a social setting. My behavior may be different. Right? This is because of the social setting I am there. Right? So that is how an environment plays a role also. Environment also plays a role there. Right? So let me understand here. Let us understand here. So these are the three important factors that always bring an influence on perception. So when we try to understand behaviors of the people, we should understand, is it the reason of the object being pursued, or is it the environmental factor, or is it the perceiver character that is influencing an individual to perceive in a way he is behaving. So this is what we need to think before we attribute something about an individual. Now, as I defined perception as a process, let us see the process. The process is there is an input, there is a mechanism followed by, which is called perception mechanism, which involves with some steps, resulting into an output. So what was that? So there is a stimuli which is recepted by an individual, which is received, selected, organized, interpreted in the perceptual mechanism, resulting into a behavior in terms of an actions undergone by the individual. So this is the process. This is the process in which an individual reacts to a stimuli. Individual reacts to a stimuli. When it comes to perceptual mechanism, three things are very, very important. Those three things are perceptual selectivity, perceptual organization, perceptual interpretation. Perceptual selectivity tells about selection of stimuli. Selection of stimuli. Perceptual organization speaks about organizing of stimuli. Whatever selected stimuli is there, how do you organize it in your brain? How do you organize it in your brain? Then based upon that, you interpret. So these are the three sub-processes of perceptual mechanism. Now, let us look into this perceptual selectivity. According to me, among all these things, the quality of your perception always depends upon what we have selected. What you have selected. What part of the stimuli you have selected. So, which part of stimuli you have selected will tell you what kind of understanding you have made. So here, so what part of stimuli you have selected will help you whether you are arriving at the quality of perception or not. And perceptual selectivity is very, very, very important one. And understanding this will always help you to better understand the perception of the people. Every day we encounter thousands, it is not thousands, rather innumerable count of stimuli you will be encountering. Countless stimuli you will be encountering. Every day, the moment you woke up, from that time till you hit the bed, till that time, numerous stimuli will be recepted by your sensory organs. Your 5 sensory organs will receive numerous stimuli. And we need to, what happens, we will not be recepting the total stimuli. You will not be recepting the total stimuli. From the minute you woke up till you sleep, how much volume of data you will be looking through? What is the volume of data? If there is a word called if there is a measuring unit in terms of GB, which is used for recording a video capture, how much volume of data it will be? It will be huge volume. If you recept the total stimuli, of all 5 sensory organs, you will be overloaded and there will be disorder. There will be overload and there will be disorder. Right? What happens now? There will always be selective stimuli and there will always be selective perception. And this selective perception happens because of external and internal factors. Now, there are lots of research here. It is not a new thing I'm talking. Way long back, for more than 80 years, 90 years, lots of research was going on in this selective perception, and people were talking about what we receive, why do we receive only such part of stimuli, why we are not recepting the total stimuli. Lots of research was there in more than 70, 80 years, 90 years. And people say here, we experience everything in the world, not as it is, but only as the world comes to us through our sensory receptors. And in the interest of not overloading ourselves with too much information, we limit our attention to those aspects of strangers or situations that are essential to what we are doing. What we do? We will select those part of essential stimuli which is desired by us, which is felt important for us, and which is necessary for us. Only that part of stimuli we will listen. Rest all stimuli we will simply ignore. For all non-management, non-commerce faculty, why I'm saying non-commerce, non-management is, for us, selective perception, selective thing is very common thing. But in a day, how many people we meet? From the time we woke up from the bed till we hit the bed, maybe about we will be meeting thousands of people. How many faces you can recollect? How many faces we remember by the end of the day? How many words you have uttered? How many, like, how many people have called you or spoken to you, said something to you, listened to them, and how much of it you remember by the end of the day when you go for bed. So why you will be recollecting, remembering only few of the things. Why not everything? It is only because there is a selective process that is going on in our mechanism. Selective process will also help us in many ways. Sometimes selective process has its own bad impact. What happens most of the times, not most of the times, many of the cases, we will try to give a bigger picture of the incident or a situation based upon or selected input. Based upon a selected input, you will try to draw the complete map. The complete map is drawn based upon the selected picture. You heard a small bit of thing. Now you imagine how the situation could be. You've drawn the complete picture, you have drawn the complete thing based upon the small input, right? So it has its own, it has its own good and bad. The thing is, some people make such analogy based upon this thing, which is something sometimes bad also. Right? So there will be misunderstanding happening because of that. Right? It is perceptual selectivity. Perceptual selectivity. Right? Followed by, let us see, perceptual organization. So you have taken part of the stimuli. I'm using the word part of the stimuli. Why not complete stimuli? Complete stimuli is the total thing, but what is done? You have done selection of the stimuli. You have done the selection of the stimuli, and part of the stimuli you are taken. Part of the stimuli you are taken. Then you are trying to make an interpretation based upon certain principles. There is a figure background principle. There is a perceptual grouping. We use continuity principle, we will use closure principle, we will use proximity principle, sometimes we use similarity principle. Then we will group the perceptions, and we'll also use perceptual constancy in perceptual context. Then we will try to understand the stimuli. Right? So where all this happens? This all happens in your brain. So you are trying to give meaning to the selected stimuli. You are trying to give meaning to the selected stimuli based upon your figure background, your perceptual grouping, and your perceptual constancy and perceptual context. Then you are trying to give an interpretation about the stimuli. You are trying to give interpretation to the stimuli. Right? So there is a complete stimuli. You have taken part of the stimuli and you are trying to understand the stimuli with the past experiences, past learning, past knowledge in your brain. Then you are trying to do an interpretation in your mind about the stimuli, right? So there is a perceptual, interpretation happening. So when the perceptual interpretation is happening, perceptual interpretation is happening. Now we have interpreted, we have interpreted the perception, right? So what is that we have seen till now? We have seen what is a perception. We have seen the mechanisms of perception, the process of perception, right? So in that, most important thing like perceptual selectivity, perceptual organization, and perceptual interpretation. Now, another corollary with the perception that need to be studied is attribution. Attribution, like when we study personality, we will be always studying attitude, right? A corollary concept. The same way, we need to study attribution along with the perception, because we always attribute certain things, right? We attribute something towards behavior of an individual. Attribution refers to the process by which an individual assigns causes to behavior he or she conceives. Right? You are trying to give reason for the behavior of the person. You are trying to give reason for the behavior of the person, and giving reason for the behavior of the person is called attribution. Attribution is the process of attributing causes to behavior of others, and it includes the perception, leadership, and motivation, right? So whenever you try to attribute something, it has implications for perception, leadership, and motivation. Let us understand this thing. So when you observe something, you do some interpretation, right? It results into attribution. When we see a behavior of a person, the behavior of person, we try to understand whether the behavior of the person is a distinctive one, whether it is a consensus one or a consistency one. Based upon that, you try to attribute the behavior of the leaders. Let us understand these things. So what is distinctiveness? What is consistency? What is consensus? Distinctiveness is where the person behaves in the same manner in other situations. Same person, right? He is behaving in the same manner in other situations. What is consistency? Does this person behave the same manner at other times? Now, in this time, today, at this point of time, he is behaving like this. Whether he will be behaving in the same way in other situations. That is what consistency is. Third thing is consensus. Whether, others behave in the same manner or differently. So whatever way an individual is behaving just now, is it the same way others behave? That is what consensus is. So there is a distinctiveness, there is a consistency, there is a consensus. So when we try to attribute a behavior of an individual in a situation, if there is distinctiveness, whether there is high distinctiveness, we say the reason is an external attribution. It is not the individual who is responsible, but the environmental factors, the object being pursued or the environment in which it is being pursued are very important, that are attributing for the behavior of the individual. But in case there is low distinctiveness, what is low distinctiveness? Does this person behave the same manner in other situations? So he will not be behaving in the same manner. He will be behaving in the same manner. When this distinctiveness is low, it is because of the individual characteristics. It is not because of external attribution, but it is because of the individual behavior. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when you are trying to attribute someone's behavior to environmental factors or object factors or the personality characteristics of an individual, so we need to understand, is it an internal attribution or external attribution? So address the issue. We try to understand, if it is internal, it need to understand, it need to be it need to be addressed differently. If it is external, it need to be addressed differently. So when distinctiveness is high, the reasons are external attribution. If the distinctiveness is low, the reasons are internal attribution. The same way, when there is consistency, the person is behaving in the same manner in other situations also, other times also, then the reasons for his behavior is highly consistent. And it is the individual characteristics that are impacting. So what is that? Internal attribution is more there. Internal attribution is more there. Wherein the person is not behaving in the same manner in other situations. It is because of low consistency. Then in such a case, environment is the reason, situation is the reason for his behavior. That is attributed to external attribution. External attribution. When the same way, when there is consensus, when others are behaving in the same manner, then it is high consensus, then it is external attribution. So everyone is behaving in the same manner, yes, then it is high consensus, then it is because of the external attribution. When others are not behaving in the same manner, then it is called low consensus. It is because of internal attribution. So friends, so behavior of the individual depends. Behavior of the individual depends because of various characteristics. But when we try to attribute, we need to understand why someone is behaving based upon distinctiveness, consistency, and consensus. When distinctiveness is high, it is because of internal. When distinctiveness is high, it is because of external. If distinctiveness is low, it is because of internal attribution. If consistency is high, it is because of internal attribution. If consistency is low, it is because of external attribution. If consensus is high, it is because of external attribution. If consensus is low, it is because of internal attribution. So these things we need to understand. So attribution is, before we attribute something, this is what we need to understand. This will definitely help us to finding a reason for someone's behavior. Knowing reason for someone's behavior always improves the work environment culture. Always improves work environment culture. So for that, we need to do it. And like any other concept, anywhere in any branch of knowledge, this perception also has some errors, some biases. Because when we say it is an external factor, or when it is, say, internal factor, right? So people will underestimate, overestimate, and overestimate, right? If there is success, people say it is because of me. If there is a failure, people say it is because of X. It's a common thing which we say. When we talk about leadership, we always advise the people, when it is a success, give credit to your people who have done the actual work. When there is failure, right, get blamed. That always builds positive leadership among the people. Building positive leadership is always very, very important. It is not with that work your success is going to be measured. It is with the work the people are going to deal in all coming future years, your success is measured. Right? If you want to confine your success to one aspect of one failure, right? If you try to blame your own people for a failure, your total leadership is going to be failure in all your future acts. So remember that. So when it comes to external factors, right? So it is desired some cases, give credit to external factors. In some cases, it is desired to give less significance to internal factors. But when we do attribution, it happens underestimation and overestimation. Underestimate the influence of external factors and overestimate the influence of internal factors when making judgments about behaviors of others. Right? Now let us see errors. One major error attribution is self-serving bias. The tendency of individuals to attribute their own success to internal factors while putting the blame of failures to external factors. It's self-serving bias. This is bias, an error which most of us do when we attribute. When we do attribute, because perception followed by attribution, when we do attribution, so this is one thing which will impact our attribution. The second thing is, whenever we do perception or when we do attribution, there is a selective perception. Rather taking the total input, we will be taking part of the stimuli and we will be trying to judge the total thing. Right? We'll try to understand, try to make the big picture based upon the small thing. Right? People selectivity interpret what they see on the based upon their interest. So when I look, suppose I've been to a monument, right? If I am an architect, what I look at the monument is different. If I am a photographer, in what way I look at the monument will be different. Right? So it all depends upon whom you are, right? Your background, your experience, your attitudes. But always you will not be taking the complete thing, you will be doing part of the thing. And using part of the thing, which is a shortcut, you will try to judge it. That is one important thing which you should always understand. Right? Your judgment is being done based upon a part of the thing. So there is a chances that you are doing some mistake. When you think that there is a chances you are doing a mistake based upon part of selection of the stimuli, you will try to take a bigger input to better draw your understanding about the stimuli. In this total process, though I have not used the word halo effect is one of the important halo effect and stereotypes are the very important concepts in perception, because your perception majorly depends upon these things. Mostly, they play a bigger role in our mind without our understanding. I can even say they will act on you below your subliminal level of understanding. Subliminal level of your understanding. So halo effect. So drawing a general impression about an individual on basis of single characteristic. You're all teachers. We try to coin about our students. He is intelligent, he is hardworking, he is sincere. How we are saying based upon their performance in recent exam, based upon their active participation in our class. We don't know how they are outside the world, but we try to coin a student based upon one important characteristic. Right? If a student is very regular to the class, we always say is very intelligent, very hardworking, very sincere. Right? How he behaves on our back, we don't know. But indeed, it comes to our forefront. So we have framed our opinion based upon one of the characteristics. Most of the times in our world, so whether it is an official workplace setup or in a friend circle, we will be knowing one or two characteristics of the people and we'll try to attribute the total personality of the individual based upon those one or two characteristics, right? Especially when we try to draw a bigger picture, bigger impression based upon one single characteristic, we call it as a halo effect. Halo effect. So halo effect is very essential thing in formulating perception. If you remember the first case, which I was quoting, which I was referring, so which I was referring about the promotion one, the first case, whatever I raised in today's session, uh, the impression of Aparna about Abhilasha. Aparna had an opinion about Abhilash. What kind of opinion? Abhilash was not a skillful employee like her. Abhilash was not a skillful employee like her. His performance is not to her level. Is one characteristic which she understood about Abhilash. And based upon that, she formulated a perception. So one characteristic about an individual, you are using it to draw a bigger impression about the individuals. So this is one of the shortcuts that happens in our day-to-day life when we formulate perception. Friends, uh, this is one very important characteristic which you should always understand, and we should also understand how it is going to influence you in drawing perceptions about others. So be careful about this particular damaging factor which is carried in our mind. The second one, contrast effects. Evaluation of person's characteristics that are affected by comparisons with other people recently encountered who rank higher or lower on some characteristic. This is also another way we try to judge people, right? We look at the students in a class, we say comparing X, comparing Y, you are performing more, you are performing, right? You are doing an evaluation of person's characteristics that are affected by comparisons with other people recently encountered who rank higher or lower on same characteristics, right? So couple of people are there, X, Y, Z, right? Based upon trustworthiness, based upon leadership, based upon performance, based upon commitment, based upon sensitivity. You are trying to rank the people, trying to compare and contrast. And comparing and contrasting, you are doing judging about everyone in all aspects. You rank someone as more performing one, you rank someone as less performing one. Some requirement more, some requirement less. You are comparing office requirement and workplace, production place requirement. Likewise, you are trying to do comparison and then take a decision about it. Apart from them, projection is also another factor. Stereotyping is projection is something attributing one's own characteristics to other people, right? So if I would have been, this is what I would have been doing, right? If someone has done something, right, immediately it comes. If it is me, then I would have done that. There was a projection. This also impacts our perception. Not only that, stereotyping will also impact perception, right? You judge someone on the basis of one's perception of the group to which that perception, to which that person belongs to, right? It is a common thing that is happening, right? From the day industrial revolution has happened, from the day organizations have evolved, stereotyping will always have an impact on organization, right? Someone, why someone, right? Why based upon some social background group? Let me take gender-wise. So when there is some kind of work, we say this work, this kind of work should be given to men only. This kind of work should be given to women only. What is it? This is the kind of stereotyping. You had a judging based upon your perception of the group to which that person belongs to, right? So this stereotyping, based upon stereotyping also, you judge. So these are the things that always impact us in the perception what we do, right? So coming to the specific applications of this perception, when we do employment interview, right? There will be perceptual biases, right? When we try to rate, when we are trying to judge the applicants, we are trying to select the people. There is a chances of perceptual biases of the raters that affect the accuracy of the interviewers' judgment of applications, right? And there is a Pygmalion effect, is a big thing which if it is said because we need to discuss about the cases. Sometimes we do ethnic profiling, right? A form for stereotyping will be done, right? Performance evaluations, employee efforts, right? So let us go to the case. Let us go to the first case. Now, I request, we have seen the theory part of perception. We have seen the theory part of perception. We have seen the theory part of attribution. We try to understand the process of perception. We try to understand what is attribution, how attribution happens, and so what are the reasons for attribution? Is it distinctiveness? Is it consistency? Is it consensus? Right? So these things we have just seen. Now, let us try to understand the cases, whatever we have started. And what is the solution for these cases? Right? The first case, employee promotion. Employee promotion. I request the participants to go through the case, then give their viewpoint about the case. Participants, you are there very much?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Kritika Sharma ji.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Can you tell me, like, what are the reasons for our understanding, a negative understanding about the situation? Can you tell me, like, why Aparna started understanding the boss and Abhilash in that way. Is it a common thing in organizations? Do things happen in this way? Yes, please,
Sir,
everyone.
can I?
Do things happen in this?
So what I've understood from the case is Aparna thought about negatively about Abhilash after boss has given him the promotion. Before the promotion, I think she might have the positive opinion about him. So it's a commonly observed in most of the organizations. The moment the increment comes into picture, the person who will get high increment, about him, others will feel bad. Arey, in what way he is eligible for high increment? And slowly, they will try to
Demotivate themselves.
demotivate themselves and connect with the boss, maybe because he is very close to the boss. Maybe that is the reason he got the high promotion. So the perception of perception towards Abhilasha has changed only after the promotion, not before the promotion. So that is what I observed.
Then how to address the situation? How to address the situation? Are participants there? I could see many people. Anuradha ji, Anshika Tiwari, Aparna, Varun, Bala Subbulakshmi Garu. Many people are there. Meenakshi Garu, Lakshmi Prabha Garu.
Sir, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon,
sir. Good evening,
sir.
Sir, I am very much present, sir, but I am planning to give opportunity to the participants, not from the in-house participants. I have so many questions and queries, but simply I am observing.
You are welcome. You are welcome, madam. You please.
So, in employee promotion, sir, what I feel is, I think it will be the sequence of the person's personal experience. I can talk about here.
Whatever as mentioned in this case, to that extent, if we confine and then draw something out of it, then find a solution for the problem, that would be better.
Okay, sir.
Can you just
if that is yes, sir. If that is the case, maybe in case of the skill and performance, even Aparna is also even compatible with the Abhilash. Maybe she has not get the opportunity like the promotion or whatever it may be. So she will be in a kind of demotivation. And so the moment when we talk about here the consistency and the conciseness, the distinctiveness point of view, like these two things are even some other important factors will also affect on her. Such kind of thinking, sir, what I feel. Maybe we cannot exactly say that it is because of the discrimination of a boss based on the gender criteria. I feel that in addition to that also there will be some other factors will be there which could influence Abhilash to get the promotion. Maybe, for example, even though she is thinking herself that in case of the skill and performance, or in case of the like whatever the promotion criteria is there, these are the only two things are there which can give the employee the promotion. In addition to that, also there will be many more factors are there which prioritize the giving of promotion to Abhilash. What I feel.
Then last thing, ma'am, like so whatever Aparna has began to change from positive to negative attitude.
Oh, that is maybe that is the reason.
No, that will have a long impact, bad impact on the organization. In case you are the manager, how you will be dealing with?
Slowly, I would start counseling Aparna. Like even after giving promotion to Abhilash also, what could be the criteria? that what are her lapses, and I can guide her, or I can share some of my thoughts to her, like how to be a best employee in the organization, like what factors she might not concentrating here. I will simply focus on her to concentrate on that particular factors. Sir.
I request other participants to just to be interactive.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Nagaslochna garu, Nisha Wag, Shiva, Pravalika garu, Ramsha Kalik, Ratna Devi, Vandana garu. As rightly said by Lakshmi Prabha garu, now like Aparna has changed her behavior from positive to negative, which is not right for the organization. Not only right for the organization, but also not a right thing for herself also. Who happens to be a hardworking, disciplined, and idea contributor to the organization, need to see everything in a positive way, try to find the actual reason why the boss has given promotion to Mr. Abhilash, and should also understand the other characteristics, other abilities, other efficiencies of Abhilash. That is also another important thing which Aparna should understand. We are not trying to say Aparna was next to somebody. It was not mentioned anywhere in the case. She is next to somebody. But it was only that she developed a kind of perception. That kind of perception she developed is not good for both the things. One is for the organization, other is for the employee herself. Right? So these things need to be addressed by the manager. Manager now has to play a bigger role and need to understand why Aparna developed this behavior and how to address it. That is now the job of the manager. Next, coming to this case. This case we have gone through in the beginning. My questions are now, what perceptual principles are evident in the case? What concept was brought out when the production manager labeled the office personnel a bunch of paper pushers? Do you think that Krishnamurti approach to getting office facts from the statistics on plant and office layout will affect the perceptions of office and production managers? If you were in Krishnamurti's position, how would you handle the situation? I request the participants. Anyone other than Lakshmi Prabha, madam? Any participant? Participants, I think you are there. I could see about 61 people live. Balasi Prasad garu, SR Prasad garu. Hope you are not sleeping after lunch.
Sir, I'm again here,
please.
sir.
You are, please.
Sir, I think here attribution will definitely play an important role, sir, what I feel, in the second case. Because as it is a day-to-day experience of the individual managers, it is not only in case of the production-oriented organization. I think that this situation will be there. I think the situation will be present everywhere. So here, what I feel is, as I said, that attribution is playing very important role here. So here, perception of one's own environment, like whatever the experience he is having, it must have the person's own controls, whether it is an external one or internal point of view. I think based on this particular thing, if at all I am in the position of a manager, I will be taking the particular interest to the employers who use who use it. As in this particular case, we are talking about space utilization. So here we need to, here the employer, whoever the employer is there, he has to use to increase the, maybe it will be for the purpose of productivity, or maybe it will be for the purpose of goal orientation. I could motivate my own employees, and I can guide my own employees what are the better ways for us to manage that particular situation in a proper manner.
Yeah. When the production manager were trying to say office personnel are paper pushers.
Sometimes it will be the misfortunes of the organizations.
Like it is a perception about office personnel by the
Yes.
production manager. Production managers, they think that they are the people who are doing production. They are the people who are contributing for the organization by making the product and making it available in the market, by selling it in the markets. And their revenue is being generated by making the product. That is what a production manager thinks. The production manager also thinks that the office personnel are simply spending their hard hand money in terms of moving the papers, means office files. So
yes, in this case,
which is very insignificant work. That is how a production manager is perceiving the office people job.
Yes,
it is another perception.
So here, as if at all I am in the managerial position, I need to concentrate on rational thinking, logical thinking, and systematic thinking. Maybe with this thinking process, I could able to settle that particular issue in a proper manner. That's what my my perceptions.
And one more thing important, madam, like, do you think convening a meeting like the way Mr. Murthy has done, is it a right thing or a wrong thing? Murthy has invited both the production manager, office manager, who is part of the committee, and they started the meeting.
I feel it obviously it is correct, sir, because he involved all the people.
He involved his committee members to decide on it. But thing is, having come for the meeting, both of them have quarreled and both of them fighted, and there was a difference of opinion. If now the difference of opinion is not solved, furthermore, the gap will increase, which will have a latent effect on the productivity of the organization. Rather, the Murthy would have called the layout of the organization, then they would have sat with the members, then discussed with the available space, then find whether any vacant space is available. If available, how to utilize the vacant space. If no vacant space is available, then think about advising the management to acquire new space for both office people if required and production people if required. So whenever a meeting was called, before calling a meeting, finding objective facts is one important aspect which was missed in the meeting. However, Mr. Murthy has found that this thing was missing, and because of that people were speaking, and immediately he stopped the meeting immediately and called on the details from the office management to provide the objective facts on the statistics of plant and office layout. However, it was a right decision at the end, but rather he should have done in the beginning before calling the meeting. That is one important thing which we need to find. Once again, here, there was a stereotype which is playing a role. There was halo effect that was playing a role. There was a contrast effects that are playing a role. Comparisons happening among the people. And then there was a perceptions that are evolving and impacting the organizations. And any other viewpoint by the individual participants? Thank you.
Sir, in case of locus of causality, how we... Yes, sir.
Locus of control will also play a role here, right? Okay. When we attribute something, right? If it is internal factor, we'll take the credit. If it is external factor, we will discard the credit. We will not offer credit to them, right? That
Yes,
also
thank
plays
you.
a role there. Locus of
Yes,
control
sir.
also
Thank you.
plays a role,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
right? Third thing is about same accident, different viewpoints. This is a very common case which was given by Lutyens. This is a case which is being dealt in almost all countries. Same accident, different viewpoints. In this particular case, we see three people have given three kinds of reports. Now, if you were the manager, what you do? If you are the general manager, what you do? The transport director has submitted in her report that the driver should be terminated. Do you agree with the decision? Anyone? Lakshmi Prabha, madam, no, it seems no one is there. Hello?
Sir, again,
Please.
sir, I think it is depends upon the um, psychological projection of the three different things, no, sir. So in case of police, in case of the victim himself.
Obviously.
Oh,
Perception of these three people will be different. How people view at the things, how the transport manager is looking at the things, and
Yes.
how the individual who is convicted of the situation feels about the situation. So, individual who is convicted of the situation will have his own viewpoint. The third party which is trying to report will have its own viewpoint, and the affected party, right, or the party who is responsible for the control situation will have their own viewpoint. So there will be viewpoint of the police report. There is a viewpoint of the transport director. There will be viewpoint of the driver. But as a manager, general manager, before you take a decision, what is the viewpoint? And do you advise, do you recommend the decision taken by? Do you advise, do you recommend the decision taken by the transport director? Tirumala madam, you are welcome, please. Dismissing is not agreed by you, right? What are your grounds? You don't want to dismiss, please. I welcome the participants. Before I close for the day.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Pravalika.
Please.
Sir, as per my observation, three people are giving their different opinions. So that's not the correct one. It's not matching with the three persons' opinions. First thing, sir. And the second thing is, first we need to talk with the person, the driver. Then observe his opinion. Then after we can go further. And moreover, he's working from last 8 years and take the
Nose
words
drive.
from about him from the others. Then after go for the decision. This is what I observe, sir.
You are giving an outline for what has happened and how it should happen. But if you think in terms, perception always will vary from one person to other person. There is no need of having say perception among the people. So how a police person is perceiving, how a transport director is perceiving, how the driver is perceiving need not to be same. Definitely there is no need
Yes,
of
sir.
being it same. But thing is like, there will be always differences that you should agree. Differences in perception will always be there because of variation in learning, variation in understanding, variation in various other aspects. But now, if you try to look at the reports, can you tell me about few aspects that are related to various concepts of what we discussed in this today's class? Is there any selective perception here? Is there any selective perception in the report submitted by Jennifer? Is there any selective perception?
Sir, actually,
What was the selective perception? What was selective perception here? Selective perception is taking a couple of things of the total incident and trying to coin about the total situation.
Okay.
All right. So the driver was found taking a beer at 3 p.m. And based upon that, you are trying to call. That is one selective perception. And in past, he has done few accidents. Not an accident, few things have occurred. He was found rash driving. There was change in driving behavior was there in last 18 months. Right? You're taking part of the things and trying to coin a bigger thing. There was selective perception happening. And there was a halo effect. One of the characteristics. He was
Yes.
drinking. He was drinking. He was found drinking. Is one of the halo effect. And you are comparing and contrasting. There was a contrast principle. There was a stereotyping applied because he has come from driver community and you are trying to do it. There was a primacy effect, taking past incidents, and then recency effect. When the incident has happened, the driver was not there at the place of incident. When the vehicle was picked up, at the point of time, he was not there, right? So all these various principles that govern the perception are there, which are playing a role in the report prepared by Jennifer. So whatever perceptions she has framed, it has happened because of all these underlying principles. Right? Similarly, so when it comes to you look at the decision you have to take, right? So you have an additional information now, like you have an additional information now based upon this. If you are the general manager, now you have to take a decision on the report given by Jennifer and also report given by Mike. Mike, definitely there is no point to discuss about it. Why? Because any individual, whether he has done right or wrong, he will present his case, right? So whatever he has presented, we have to check whether he has presented is right or wrong. At 3 o'clock, he was found in a beer. At so and so time, he was not there at the incident. So when he has moved out of the incident place, where he has been in reality, how much time he has taken from reaching from that place to the organization. So is he genuine? Is it right way? Is whatever he has presented? So all these things we need to cross check. Then you have to arrive at a decision. So when you arrive at a decision, few more things which I would like to present here is in the presentation, in the report submitted, Ms. Jennifer has said about few sections of the organization policy matter. Section 26F, section 18. Now, like what was my advice is, if in case I am the general manager of the company, now I need to take a decision on that. What I will do is, I will go through these sections 18A, 26F, go through them in detail and how they are applicable to the situation, to this particular driver. Then try to understand what is the reality, whatever things that are presented, are they correct, how far they are correct. And one important thing that I would like to tell you in the entire report, there was said, the driver was found at one of the travel, right, having beer at around 3 p.m. At around 3 p.m. In case you are reporting a case, you are supposed to mention it is 3:05, 3:10, 3:20 or 2:50, 2:40, 2:40. These things are desired, which was not done. So having said 3 p.m., there is a clarity missing on whether during the office hours or after hours he is taking this drink. If it is during office hours, if 3 p.m. is the cut time for the shift, and during the shift time in which he was supposed to work, he was not at work. In case he is at some other place, definitely an action need to be advised on the individual. But if it is after 3 p.m., the organization does not have any right because he already completed his shift period. But having been an employee, worked with the company for about 8 years, he would have waited for some time. You would have explained the total case with the transport director, then should have went for the personal thing, which was found missing in this place. But however,
Sir,
yes,
sir, here the employee loyalty will play any role here, sir?
definitely it will play a role, ma'am. And before an action of termination is taken, all those things should be taken into cognizance. Then a decision has to be taken. Right? Past track record, total track record, how many accidents, and what was the incident in the present situation. So, what was the genuinity presented by the driver? What were the lapses found in the report submitted by the transport director? And based upon the policies available in the organization, decision has to be taken. Right? And directly advising the management for immediate dismissal is not a right decision. Immediate dismissal is not a right decision. Always issue of show cause followed by subsequent action is the right way of dealing with human force. Because in all these matters, there is a perception involved. Right? Because I see very few active participants. I understand.
Sir,
Please.
sir, myself Ramsha. Sir, I'm
Please,
Ramsha Khalid.
Ramsha,
Yeah,
please.
can I have a minute, sir? Yeah.
Yeah,
take
please.
it,
Why
sir.
not?
Yeah. Sir, I feel the topic perception is not only important in terms of teaching business management, we being a teacher, but
Exactly.
it is also important, it is very important because it plays a very crucial role in our day-to-day lives.
Interpersonal
Sir,
relations everywhere.
myself being from HR specialization, I have read some authors on perception, but today the cases explained by you and the examples given by you gave me a better clarity on the topic. Well, I would really like to thank you, sir, for this.
You're welcome, Ramsha. Participants, anyone would like to share something? Any queries? Else, I request the coordinators to go ahead with your program. Prasad, you are there?
Yeah, sir, I'm there. I'm on it.
Please, please.
So really, it was an impressive and informative session. Your explanation on the topic is very much precise, simple, and easily understandable. You talk about perception is not reality, but understanding about reality. As a part of this, you have shared with us 3 cases. One is on employee promotion, and second is on utilization of the space, and third is on same accident, 3 different viewpoints. So the cases was handled by you is also really great, sir. It was a simple case, but many of the participants could not share their views. So you talk about how behavior of any individual will depend upon the person's characteristics and his subjective experiences. And you spoke about how and why to understand the perception and what is the difference between sensation versus perception. You also spoke about importance of perception and how it affects the behavior. You spoke about the factors which influence perception. So finally, you talk about halo effect and contrast effect, how it will changes the opinion of the people. So with this, day 2 program comes to an end. Thank you so much, sir. Tomorrow,
you.
day 3 session will begin at 10 a.m. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ahmed, sir. Thank you.